Would I recommend the Hercules 12-inch miter saw? When I broke it, I thought it was going to be trash. That was an old tree. Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. Today I have a very strange and very specific firewood order. Well, I guess it's kind of firewood. It's going to look like firewood, but it isn't actually. I'm also going to take an opportunity to go ahead and discuss with you my opinions, long-term review on the Hercules 12-inch sliding miter saw. I get a lot of questions about this saw on a video I did almost a couple of years ago now. I've been using it for quite some time. Let me show you. When I purchased this saw, I bought it with the stand. If you've ever dealt with a 12-inch saw, you know how unwieldy they are. I'm not sure what the current pricing is on this setup, but I can tell you right now that if you're looking at buying this saw, or really any other 12-inch miter saw, a stand like this is well worth it. This saw has been used for numerous furniture builds, doing trim, building my home, and all the rest. I do have a background in cabinetry and finish trim. I'm not an excellent finish carpenter, but I can get by. I always previously liked 10-inch saws because I found them to be a little bit more accurate. I've used saws from Makita, Bosch, DeWalt, and at the time it was called Hitachi, now Metabo. I once had a 10-inch sliding miter saw that was Craftsman, and really it did fairly well, but there was some major issues with the guard. It would cause it to basically bind up, and it was actually pretty dangerous. One of the first videos I ever did on this saw was when we were using it for a project and the saw tipped over and it broke the handle off here. If you're interested in getting replacement parts on this, I would recommend going ahead and checking out that video. I did it almost 2 years ago. Let's just say I fixed this saw for, I want to say, less than $12. Parts shipped directly from Harbor Freight. Very impressive. The stand has been flawless. I was a little concerned, you know, when you see plastic bits like this here, you wonder, man, if that breaks, what am I going to do? It's going to be rendered useless. But so far, it has been fine. I use this saw for a lot of things. I use it to cut framing timbers. I run it off of a generator quite often. That's what we're going to do today. I kind of called it firewood, but it's actually more of like a craft type project, but it has to do with wood that would otherwise be firewood. Let's take a look. I had already warmed up the generator here, so this should be, it's always easy to start anyway, but it should start up very simply here. You might wonder what I'm doing here. I'll explain here in a moment. This is for a wedding. I was asked for some 2-inch medallions. They're gonna do some wood burning on these. I'd say that works right there. I need 15 of those. I don't know about you, but oftentimes when you think about cutting wood, specifically logs, your immediate thing is to go to a chainsaw. Let me show you why I didn't go to a chainsaw besides the time savings. So these were cut earlier with the chainsaw. Okay, this one was cut with 3/8 low profile. This one was cut with nano here. All right, and let's take a look at the miter saw side. Remember, this blade can be used for finish trim, so you can miter and do all kinds of precision cuts. See that right there? These are for a wedding. They're going to be a part of a centerpiece on the table, and the medallions, I believe, are going to get wood burned with the bride and groom, their names or something, or their initials. I'm not exactly quite sure, but this is why I went ahead and did it with the miter saw versus a chainsaw. You might ask, how much time has this saw seen? It is on the original 12-inch blade. Just so you know that, the 12-inch stock blade that this saw came with is still on here. I've been extremely happy with the Hercules blade. Phenomenal. I like this blade more than some of the Diablo blades I'd used in the past. The saw works very well. It's repairable. They don't have every single part available at Harbor Freight, but if you do have a failure, you can get parts on this machine, which is absolutely incredible. I've done a lot with it. I love the cross-cut capacity. I love the stand. I love the soft start. It also has a brake, so when you remove your finger off the trigger, it brings the blade to a stop more quickly. That is a thing that's happened on most modern equipment. I don't know if it was regulated, but I love it. It works very well. Soft start sounds and feels a little bit weird initially, but what it does is it keeps the load from hitting your power source so hard and being so harsh. It really does lower the draw or the current that saw is sucking up, or that electric motor is sucking up, and it's just easier on the generator or your circuitry in the building or whatever you've got. Would I recommend the Hercules 12-inch miter saw? Absolutely. If I were in the market today, I would totally look at this saw again after owning it. It has the right feature set for me. It was a good price point. I think Harbor Freight's been fairly aggressive on their pricing recently. I love that the handle is this way. I dislike handles facing this way, like on the Fez tools, and I know my old Makita 12-inch slider was like that. I don't like chopping this way with the D handle. This saw has done everything I've asked it. When I broke it, I thought it was going to be trash, and then I fixed it for 12 bucks. I couldn't believe it. Now I'm even cutting firewood. I do everything with this saw. It's crazy. It's cutting oak. Look at this ring on here. Look at the rings. That was an old tree. It needed to come out for another project I'm doing, and this is going to be a part of, like I said, the wedding. To all of my regular viewers, thank you so much for being here. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We do a lot of tree work, chainsaw stuff, but we're starting to build more and more. I want to do more and more woodworking, and we're very outdoor oriented and tool oriented. We're not just reviews. We do a little bit of everything, and we are family friendly. So you can sit down on the couch with your kids and be assured that it's going to be a good spot to watch and learn. I'll see you on the next one.